Hello, welcome to the introduction on how to use OneNote. So there's a couple ways to get into OneNote. One of them is right on the computer itself because it's built into the Microsoft 365. And here's OneNote here. You can click on it here. It'll open it up, and it'll give you. It's kind of a way to store things. So I've used mine mainly at this point to collect articles that I found as I've kind of been wandering around on the internet, things that I think would be interesting to have the kids read or something that I thought would be interesting to present to them at some point. And I kind of stored them all here. The best thing about this is I'll show you a little bit later how it works, but it'll get the articles right off the internet and collect all the information and gets rid of a lot of the ads. Well, most of the ads on the there's not very many on there on these, and it does that for every article. You can organize them however you want. Right now I have mine set up with, I put all the articles here, and then I parse them out to ecology, cells, genetics, evolution, and then a bunch of animal stuff that I use for zoology. Actually, I use a lot of this for some of zoology, and then stuff on human evolution as well. So that's kind of how my setup is here. You can find OneNote on the computer. The other way you can do it is it's embedded right into Canvas. This is my one of my biology sections. If you go to class notebook, it pulls this up and you can log in and you can set it up where each student gets their own class notebook, and then they have access to do things with it. I used mine, like I said, for starters. When I was a cart teacher, I didn't like carting stuff around, so I'd do it like this. I'd set it all up for them, and then they just go in and they'd have a starter that they'd access. And it worked pretty well. Sometimes there are some issues with it, but I did find that the article portion of this has really been what I really like to do, and that's been helpful. So how to use OneNote for articles is in Google. They have extensions you get, and this is where the extensions are, this little mark. And so I had one for Edpuzzle. I probably need to get rid of because we don't have access to that anymore. I have Loom, which is what I'm recording this on, and then I have this OneNote web clipper. There's another one, OneClipper. At some point, OneNote web clipper kind of had a problem, but now it works. So the way this works is, what I do is I like using Reddit, and so I know social media is social media, but I like using Reddit. So what I do with Reddit is, as I've clicked on a bunch of the biology, megafauna, wilding, all these different categories that generate information. And as I'm wasting my time, quote unquote, scrolling through my Reddit, every once in a while they have a bunch of articles that pop up. What I do is I find the articles, and I kind of put them on my browser in my phone. And then what I do is I go over here and I type in the title. So what I'm doing now is typing in the title for an article I found that I was interested in letting my zoology kids read. That should be enough. So this is an article that I found that talks about deer. It's in New Zealand. It's about deer and how they introduced deer into New Zealand, and they've really done some damage to it, and they wanted to get rid of most of them, but they're not able to because the hunters in the area think that they're taking the place of the moa, which was a giant bird that went extinct. And so what I do is I find the article like this. I come up here and I click on OneNote web clipper, and it pulls up this purple box. And then it has 4 options. You have full page, region, article, bookmark. I usually pick article. Okay. And so then if you look through it, it keeps the picture, it keeps some of the other stuff available. So you're able to read through it. It keeps all the good stuff in there. And then it tells you what the location is. So my stuff, these are some of my other books that I have. So I use the zoology article one, and I just put it all into all article, and then it clips it. And so it'll take that, and then if you click on the view in OneNote, it pulls it up in OneNote, kind of online, because it's kind of platform thing. If you log into OneNote, you can access it on pretty much any computer. And so I have it now, the same article with all the same pictures and everything. And it even takes the title, puts it right in there so I know exactly which one it is. And then I'm able to move it around. This article, at this point, I'm going to put into animals because it's something that I think, well, probably going to put it in 2 spots. I'm going to move into ecology. I'm going to copy it to there. And then I'm going to move this into animals. So I have it in 2 spots. In animals, if I want to look and I found this, yeah, sure. So I have it in 2 spots. So I have it in animals here, and then I should have it in ecology. Yep, right here. So it's in both spots. So I have a copy of it both ways.